a chat application for Android from scratch. Yes, that is what we are going to build in this series. So let's first see the application. And the application is called Stream Chat because I am going to use Stream SDK to build this application. And I have two emulators here because it is a chat application and two devices are needed for the demonstration. So this device has the application ready, and here I will start the application from scratch. So let's see what it is. I will put my phone number. So let's say my phone number is 7878787878. Next, the OTP is 6 zeros. So I have 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then next. Now I will enter my name, and I am inside the application. Now this guy is John Doe and this guy is Bilal Khan. That's me. So I will open John Doe and here I'll open Bilal Khan. And you can see the online status. And if I type here something, let's say I type, hey, how are you? You can see Bilal Khan is typing. So we have this feature as well. And if I send the message is here. And I can reply it from here. Let's see, I am good. So this is the application that we are going to build in this series. I hope you're excited. So here you can see it is an empty project. And in this video, we are going to build a chat application from scratch using Stream SDK. So this is my empty project, and the first thing that I will do is I will integrate authentication for my chat application. And for authentication, I am going to use Firebase Phone Authentication. I am going to use Firebase Phone Authentication because it is quick and easy to implement, and for a chat application, phone authentication is a good idea. So the first thing that we will do is we will integrate the phone authentication. And as we are going to use Firebase, we need to create a project in Firebase first. So let's do it. So in browser, first we will open console.firebase.google.com. Now from Firebase console, we will click on add project. And here I will create a new project. Let's say Stream Chat 1. Continue and again continue. And I will select an analytics account and I'll create project. Now it will take a moment to create the project. Just wait. Once the project is ready, we will hit on this continue button. Now it will open our project that we just created. Now here we will go to authentication and we will click on this button, that is get started. Now here we will select phone authentication from native providers. So select phone authentication and you need to enable this phone authentication. Now here you can add phone numbers for testing. So let's say I will add a number that is +91 7878, just any dummy number I'm using. It's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So this is my test number that I will use for testing purpose. And I will add a default verification code. Let's say it is 1 2 3 4 5 6, and we will add it. So here you can see we have a test phone number with the test verification code added. You can see here that phone authentication is enabled. Now we need to add our Android project to this Firebase application. And to do this, we will click here, that is project overview. And here we will click on this Android option because we want to add our Android project to this Firebase application. So click on this Android option, and here we need to enter our applications or our Android project's package name. So I will get the package from my manifest file. So this is the package name. I will copy it and I will paste it here. Now you can name your application, that is an optional thing. So I will just write stream chat fun, and finally I will register my application. Once you register your application, you will get this download Google services.json file option. So you need to download this file and you need to paste this file to your Android project. So here is my project and I will go to project mode, and inside app folder I will paste the Google services.json file like this. So we have the Google services.json file added to our Android project. Now click next, and now we need to add the Firebase SDK to our Android project, and the process is given here. The first thing that we need to do is we need to do some changes in our project level build.gradle file. So we need to add this class path. So I will copy this. So it is my project level build.gradle file, and I will add this class path. After this, I will add Google, but I think it is already added. So I do not need to do any other changes in my project level build.gradle file. Now after this, inside my app level build.gradle file, I will apply this com.google.gms Google Services plugin. So I will copy it from here and I will paste it inside my app level build.gradle file like this. And because I am using this format, I will change it like this. And after this, we just need these two implementations. So I will copy this, I will paste it here, I will copy this and I will paste it here like this. And let's sync the project now. The sync is done. Now let's go ahead. We will click on this next button and we can continue to console. So the Firebase is added in our Android project. But we also need to add phone authentication, that is Firebase phone authentication, to our Android Studio project. So again, we will go to authentication and we will click go to docs. Now this is the official documentation of Firebase phone authentication. And the first thing that we need to do is we need to add this implementation, that is Firebase authentication implementation. So I will copy it and again I will paste it inside my app level build.gradle file like this. And I think that's all we need to implement Firebase phone authentication. So everything is added. Now we will start implementing an authentication for our application. So what I will do is I will create a new activity that we will call authentication activity or auth activity. So inside my package, I will create a new package and I will name it as UI, and I will create an activity here. So I will create an empty activity named auth activity AA like this. So I have activity authentication. So let's finish it. We need to import this R. Now inside activity authentication or auth activity, we will have basically three fragments. The first one where the user will enter the phone number, the second one where the user will enter the OTP, and the third one where the user will enter the basic profile information. In our case, we will take just the name as an input while setting up the profile. So in this project, we requires the user's phone number that is validated using an OTP and the user's name that he will enter after verifying the phone number. So let's do it. So this is my activity auth, and inside activity auth, I will add a nav host fragment like this. So this is my nav host fragment, but first I also need to create a navigation graph. So inside my resource folder, I will create an Android resource file and I will name it as nav auth, or you can name it whatever you want. Oops, I created a values, but I need to create a navigation graph. So again, I will do the same. I will create nav auth, and this time I will select navigation from the resource type menu. So let's hit OK, and now we have our navigation graph. Now let's add the nav host fragment and select the graph that we just created. Now I will add the constraints, and for the width and the height you can define 0 and 0. This way it will fill all the available constraints. So we have our fragment container view, that is our nav host fragment, and now we will define the first fragment, that is enter phone number fragment. So inside the UI package I will create a fragment and I will name it enter phone fragment. So this is our first fragment. I will also create a layout file. So we have r.layout dot, let's say fragment enter phone, like this. And let's also create this layout file, that is fragment enter phone. Now once the user entered the phone, we will navigate the user to verify OTP fragment. So I will create one more fragment. So I will copy the same file and I will name it as verify phone fragment. And this time we will define fragment verify phone, like this. And let's create this XML files as well. Now we have enter phone fragment and verify phone fragment. After the phone verification, we will navigate the user to one more fragment where the user can enter his name. So let's create one more fragment and I will name it setup profile fragment, and it is fragment setup profile, like this. So we have all the three fragments. Once the basic authentication is done and user has set up the profile, we will navigate the user to chat activity. So after this authentication activity, we will create one more activity that basically is our chat activity. So I will name it chat activity. We will come to chat activity later. First, we will finish the authentication activity. But still, I will organize my code in different packages. So inside UI, I will create a package named auth, and I will put auth activity, enter phone fragment, setup profile fragment, and verify phone fragment to this auth package, just to organize the code. And I will create one more package, that is chat, and I will put the chat activity inside this chat package, like this. So we have structured our code. Now let's implement Firebase phone authentication. So the first fragment that we have is our enter phone fragment. I will close all the other tabs, and the first thing that we need is we need to design this fragment where the user will enter the phone number. So let's quickly design the fragment. So we have the design ready, and to save time I just copy pasted the code, but you can get the source code. The link is given in the description of this video. So basically we have a spinner to select the country code and an edit text where the user will enter the phone number, and we have a button that the user can click after entering the phone number. So we have fragment enter phone number ready. Now after this, user will go inside fragment verify phone. So we need to design this fragment as well. And again, we have the design ready to verify the phone number. And after this, user will go to setup profile fragment. And again, we will copy paste the UI code for setup profile fragment. And you can see we have the setup profile fragment ready. So user will enter the name and user can choose a profile picture. So The basic authentication UI is ready. We just need to implement Firebase phone authentication. Now let's come to the enter phone fragment. And in this fragment, user will enter the phone number. So let's code this thing. First, I will open a design, and this is the design that we have. We have a spinner for the country codes, and we have an edit text for the user's phone number, and we have a button. So what we will do is we will enter the phone number here, and we will select the specific country from here. And for the country codes, I have defined an array, as you can see here. So this array contains all the country codes. The first information before the comma is the country code, and this is the country code. This is the telephone code for the country, and this is the country code itself. So this is the information we will use for our spinner. So first, let's define the binding for our fragment. So I will define it as private late init, where it is a binding of type fragment enter phone binding. Now I will override the onViewCreated function, and here I will bind the binding. So I will write binding equals to fragment enter phone binding dot bind, and I will pass this view. Now we have the bindings. Now the first thing that we will do is we will add a text change listener to the phone number edit field. So what I'll do is I'll write binding dot edit text phone dot add text changed listener. Now inside this text change listener, what I'll do is I'll check if the entered value's length is 10, that means it is a valid phone number, and I will enable the next button. For any other case, I will disable the button. So here I can write binding dot button next dot is enabled equals to it dot length equals to 10, and it is nullable here, so I will put a null safety operator here, and that's it. Now if I enter 10 numbers, the button will be enabled. So that's it. Now what I'll do is I will attach a click listener to the button. So we have button next dot set on click listener, and here we will navigate the user to verify phone number fragment. But before navigating the user to that fragment, we need to get the phone number. So what I will do here is I will get the phone number first. So I will write val phone equals to binding dot edit text phone dot text dot to string, like this. And one more thing we need is we need the country code, and we will get the country code from the spinner. So I will write here country code equals to binding dot spinner countries dot selected item, like this. But we have not populated the country codes in our spinner. So that is what we need to do first. As I already told you that I have defined this arrays, and here we have all the country code with the telephone code. Now we need to add these countries to our spinner, and because we have two information for each country, that is phone code and the country code, what I will do is I will create a data class. So I will name it country, and it is a data class, and for the parameters I will have phone code. So first I have phone code, that is an integer, and I have country code, and it is a string. So I will wrap the country information with this data class. Now one more function I will create here that will get all the countries information from the arrays.xml. So I will create an extension of context, and I will name it get countries. Now this function will return us the list of country, all the countries that we have. Now the first thing that we need to create is we need to create a mutable list here. So I will create list countries, and it is a mutable list of country, and I will return this countries. Now we need to access this countries array, And to do this, we can use resources because this function get countries is an extension function of context, and that is why we can access resources here. So I will write resources dot get string array. I will pass the array ID here, that is countries. So I will pass r dot array dot countries, and then I will loop through all the available countries. Now in each item we have phone code and the country code. So what I will do is I will split the country string with the help of this comma because it is a comma separated value. So let's do it. I will write, let's say temp equals to it dot split, and I will split it by comma. Now the first value is the phone code and the next value is the country code. So what I will do is I will create a country with the help of this country data class. So we have country, the first parameter is temp 0, that is the first index, that is phone code, and the next parameter is temp 1, that is the country code. For the first parameter we need to convert it to integer because this phone code is an integer. So we have the country here. Now what I will do is I will add this country to my list countries, and that's it. I can use this function to get the list of countries. Now come back to enter phone fragment, and now I will create an adapter for my spinner. So I will write here val adapter equals to array adapter, and the type would be country. For the first parameter I will pass context, so I can write require context. For the next parameter I will write android dot r dot layout dot simple drop down item or simple list item 1. Actually we also have simple spinner item, so I will use this one. For the last parameter I will pass list of countries, and I can get the countries using require context dot get countries like this. Now we have the adapter, and now we will set this adapter to our spinner. So I will write here binding dot spinner countries dot adapter equals to adapter. That's it. Now here when the button is clicked we will get the selected item and we will convert it as country like this. Now we also have the phone code. So now we have the selected country from the spinner. I will change the val name to country, and now we can construct a full phone number, that is val phone number equals to plus sign and then country dot country code, not country code, actually the phone code. So country dot phone code and then finally the phone. Now this phone number has the complete phone number with the plus sign and with the country code because we need the phone number in this format to send an OTP. It is compulsory. That's why I got the country code and I constructed the phone number. So now we have phone number, we can navigate the user to the next fragment, that is verify phone fragment. So what I'll do is I will define a companion object here for the key. So I will write const val key phone equals to, let's say I have key phone, and I will use this key phone to pass the entered phone number to that fragment. So what we will do is we will simply write find nav controller dot navigate, and I will write r dot id dot the fragment where I want to navigate, but I have not added my fragments to the fragment graph. So the first thing that I need to do is I need to open the nav auth, and here I will add the fragments. So the first fragment is enter phone fragment. Then we have verify phone fragment, and then we have setup profile fragment. So first we will open this fragment, that is enter phone fragment. Then we will go to verify phone fragment, and from here we will go to setup profile fragment. Now every fragment has an ID. You can see if I split it, we have enter phone fragment, we have verify phone fragment, and we have setup profile fragment. Now come back to enter phone fragment. So here I will navigate to verify phone fragment, and I will pass the phone number using a bundle. So I will write bundle of, and it is a bundle of. For the first parameter, I will use the key that we just defined inside verify phone fragment. So I will write verify phone fragment dot key phone to phone number like this. So we will receive the phone number to this verify phone fragment, and then we can send an OTP to the number entered using Firebase. Now we will come inside verify phone fragment, and here again we will do the same thing. The first thing that we will do is we will define the binding. So I have private let init var binding of type fragment verify phone binding like this. Then I will override the onViewCreated function. So I will write here override fun onViewCreated. Inside this function I will bind the binding. So I will write here binding equals to fragment verify phone binding dot bind, and we will pass the view. Now we have the bindings. Now if you go to the design, you can see I have a text and a button here. So again I will attach a text change listener to this edit text, and based on the input information I will enable and disable this next button. So what we will do is we will write binding dot edit text OTP. Inside this edit text, user will enter the OTP. So I will add text changed listener, and here I will check if the length given is 6, that means it is a valid OTP. Again we need to check that it is a correct OTP or not, but by length it is a valid OTP. So in this case I will enable the next button. So let's do it. I will write binding dot button next dot is enabled equals to it dot length equals to 6. So if the entered value's length is 6, we will enable the button. For any other case, the button will be disabled. Now we need to check whether the entered OTP is valid or not. And for this, first we need to send an OTP to the user's phone number. And to do this, the first thing that we will do is we will get the phone number that we are passing in the arguments with this key. So what I will do is I will define a val phone equals to arguments dot get string, and I will pass this key, that is key phone. And if this key is not available, what I will do is just for now I will stop the further execution. So if there is a phone number provided, our code will go ahead. So assuming we have the phone here, now what we need to do is we need to initialize authentication, and to authenticate the user's phone we are going to use Firebase phone authentication. And to do this, first we need an instance of Firebase auth. So here again I will define private let init var auth, and the type is Firebase auth. Now we need to initialize this auth object. So what we will do is we will write auth equals to Firebase auth dot get instance. Now after getting the auth instance, we need to initiate the phone authentication. And to do this, we need to build phone authentication options. And to do this, the first thing that we will do is we will define a val, and let's name it options, and we will use the phone auth options class, and we will call the function that is new builder. Now what we will do is we will set the phone number. So we will call this function that is set phone number, and we will pass the phone because we need to authenticate this phone number. So we will pass the phone number, then we will set the timeout. So for the timeout I will set, let's say 60, and time unit is seconds. So timeout is of 60 seconds. After this I will set activity. So I will call require activity to get the activity, and then we will set the callbacks. I will create the callbacks, and finally we will build the options. Now we need callbacks, and for the callbacks we will define a callback here. Let's say we have a private val callbacks phone auth provider dot on verification status changed callbacks. So we will use this callbacks. Now we need to implement some member functions. So I will press option enter because I'm using a Mac. For Windows you can use alt enter, and we will select implement members, and we have two functions. The first one is on verification completed and the second one is on verification failed. So we have two callbacks here. We will use these callbacks, but first let's use this callbacks instance that we created, and we will pass this instance to this function, that is set callbacks. So we will write callbacks here. Now we have options that we can use to initiate our phone authentication. And to initiate the phone authentication, we will call phone auth provider dot verify phone number, and we will pass the options. That's it. Now phone authentication is initiated, and we will get the callbacks here inside our callbacks object. So basically we have two functions. The first one is on verification completed, and here we will get the credentials, and we have on verification failed where we will get the exception. So let's handle the exception part. For now I will just display the exception message. You can handle the exceptions separately and you can check what exactly is the exception, and based on that you can handle the exception. But just to make it quicker, I am just displaying the message. So what I'll do is I will use a toast. Let's use a toast for now, and I will write toast make text, and for the context I can pass require context, then the message. So I will use the exact exception message, and then the length of the toast. So I will write length long and I will show the toast. So this is our failure case. If the verification is failed, what we are doing is we are displaying the exception message. But this is not how you should do it. You should display some simple error messages for your users. But in this case, just to make it quick, I am using the default exception message. Later we can change it. Now let's come inside on verification completed. Now if we get the callback inside this function, that is on verification completed, that means user do not need to enter the OTP manually and the verification is automatically done. So in this case we will just log in the user. So what we can do is we can call a function, let's say sign in with credential, and I will define the function here. Let's say we have private fun sign in with credential, and we will pass this credential here. So I will write credentials and I will add this parameter to my function. So we have the credential that we can use to sign in the user. So to sign in, we will use this instance that we already defined and initialized, that is the Firebase auth instance. So I will write here auth dot sign in with credential, and we will pass the credential, and I will add on complete listener, and we can have a lambda argument for this add on complete listener function. Now with the help of this task, we can check whether the authentication was successful or not. So here we will write if task is successful, that means user is successfully logged in. So for this case, I will just print a toast message for now. I will write toast.make text, the same thing, require context, logged in successfully, or whatever message you want. This is just a temporary message. Later we will change it to navigating to our setup profile activity or setup profile fragment. So I will write here logged in successfully, and then the length of the toast. And for any other case, we will get the exception. Let's say we have val exception equals to task.exception, and we can use this exception to check what error has occurred. So I will do it later. So we have our function ready that will sign in the user. And here what we need to do is to do open next fragment or activity. So we have the function ready, that is sign in with credentials, and we are handling the case when the OTP is verified automatically. But what if OTP is not automatically verified? So in that case, user has to enter the OTP manually inside the edit text that we created. So in that case, we need to build the phone auth credentials manually using the OTP that user has entered. So here inside my on verification state changed callbacks, I will override one more function, that is on code sent. So here I will override this function, that is on code sent. Now this is a function that is called when the code is sent. And here in the first parameter we have the verification ID, and in the next parameter we have the resend token. Now I will delete this super.onCodeSend because I do not require this thing. But what I will do is I will save this verification ID, and we will use this verification ID with the user entered OTP to build the phone auth credentials. So let's define one more variable here, private var verification ID. Now what I will do here is I will write this @verify phone fragment dot verification ID equals to this verification ID. So I am saving this verification ID inside this verification ID, that is this one. So we have the verification ID. Now user will enter the OTP. So what I will do is I will attach a click listener to my next button. So I will write binding dot button next dot set on click listener like this. And here first I will get the OTP that the user has entered. So I will write val OTP equals to binding dot edit text OTP dot text dot toString dot trim. Now I have the OTP and I have the verification ID. So I can build the credential. So I will write credential phone auth provider dot get credential, and for the first parameter I will pass verification ID that we already stored. So I will write verification ID, and for the next parameter we need to pass the OTP. Now we have the credential and it will work if the user has entered the correct OTP. So again I will call the same function that we created, that is sign in with credentials, and I will pass the credential like this. Now we have handled both the cases, if the verification is automatically done or if the user has to manually enter the OTP. So in both cases we will log in the user. And now we need to handle the navigation here inside this function, that is sign in with credential. So if the task is successful, that means the user successfully logged in. In this case, we will navigate the user to setup profile fragment. If the login is not successful, we will display a proper error message to the user. Now the Firebase phone authentication is completed. And when the authentication is successful, we will navigate the user inside setup profile fragment. And this is our setup profile fragment. So here, instead of displaying a toast, what I will do is I will write find nav controller, and I will call the navigate function, and I will pass r.id.setup profile fragment, and this will navigate the user to the setup profile fragment. And in case of error, for now let's just display the toast. So I will write toast.makeText and require context exe.message and then the length of the toast. Here we need to put a null safety operator, and that's it. So if the authentication is successful, we will navigate the user to setup profile fragment. Now let's go inside setup profile fragment. And here again we will do the same thing. We will define a binding instance. So I have private let init var binding of type fragment setup profile binding, and then we will override the on view created function, and here I will bind the binding, that is binding equals to fragment setup profile binding dot bind, and I will pass the view. That's it. So let's see the fragment setup profile, and this is our UI design. Now in this example, I will just take the user's name, and later if you want you can implement this feature as well, that is take the user's profile picture. So this is edit text name, and here I will attach a text change listener. So I will write binding dot edit text name dot add text change listener, and inside this listener I will change the enable state of button. So I will write binding dot button next dot is enabled equals to it dot is not empty, and it should be true. So if the entered text is not empty, that means enable the button. In any other case, disable it. And when the fragment is launched, we will disable the button. So we have binding button next dot is enabled equals to false. And the same thing we need to do inside verify phone fragment and enter phone fragment. So here I will do the same thing. I will write binding dot button next is enabled equals to false, and the same thing inside enter phone fragment. So let's write it here, and actually I have written this already. So button next is disabled when the fragment is launched. So that's it. So we have our setup profile fragment. Now what I will do is I will write binding dot button next dot set on click listener, and inside this trailing lambda that will be called when the button is clicked, I will call setup profile. Now let's define this function, private fun setup profile. Now inside this function, that is setup profile, we will connect the user to stream. But before doing it, let's run the application and see if it is working or not. So I will play the application in the emulator, and you can see we are saying just hello world. This is because the starting point of our application is this main activity, and we are not doing anything inside main activity. So what we need to do is we need to open auth activity from main activity, and later we can use the main activity as the splash screen. So what I will do is I will just write a simple code, that is start activity, and then I will pass an intent. For the first parameter I will pass this, and for the next parameter the activity that you want to open. In this case it is auth activity, class.java, and we need to import the intent, and that's it. Now let's run the application again. Now you can see this is our login screen. So from here we will select the country. In my case I will select India, and I will enter the phone number. So I have added a test phone number in the Firebase console, and I will enter that number, that is 78787878. So let's hit next, and the test OTP was 123456. Now hit next, and you can see we are inside setup profile fragment. So our application is working absolutely fine till this point. So now our task is to set up the user's profile in Stream, and to do this we need to connect the user to Stream, and that we will do in the next video. So this was the first part where we learned about the authentication, and in the next part we will learn about Stream chat. So I think that's all for this video, and if you like this video then please hit on that like button, subscribe to Stream, and you can share this video with your friends. So thanks for watching everyone. This is Bilal Khan now signing off.